Namaste friends, welcome to the 17th class of the Bhagavad Gita. Let us begin our class with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Bhagwan Krishna, Jesus Christ, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashay, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, Beloved Gurudev Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, Saints and sages of all religions, humbly we bow at thy feet. Beloved Lord Krishna, thou art the essence of everything. Help me to realize thee, to feel thee in every fiber of my being, in every thought and emotion. Awaken my heart, Lord, to thy presence within. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us now sing the hymn to Brahma and a chant to invoke the presence of God and the Gurus. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Brahmanandam Parama-sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasya-dilakshayam Ekam Nityam Vimalam Vachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Rahitam Sadgurum Tvam Namami Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Let's be a bit meditative, in fact, deeply meditative. Let's focus at the spiritual eye. Let's be in this present moment and sing the Maha Mantra, Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare let's be in silence for a few moments. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So friends, welcome again to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 2 and this is class 17. In the last class, we studied how Krishna is advising Arjuna as to not to grieve for two reasons. First and most important reason is saying that the soul cannot die. The second reason he says is that even if you think that the soul is born and is going to die, even then there is no need to grieve, because whatever is born will die and whatever will die has to be born again. And this is a law, and there is no need to mourn over this universal law which is bound to happen. And then he goes on to explain the soul, and he says, some behold the soul with amazement, means some can behold it as light, some hear about the soul and listen about it, so they can hear the sound of Om, which is pertinent to the soul. And he says, some wonder about the soul, means they use their wisdom, their view, they use their jnana to try and comprehend the soul. But there is another class of people who, having heard everything about the soul, understands it not. So let's see where this study now takes us. We are now on shloka number 3, and this section is called as the righteous battle is man's religious duty. So we were officially supposed to do this last week, but every time I plan a class, I think we'll cover 8 to 10 shlokas. But each shloka becomes so deep and vast. Master's commentary is so amazing. We need to kind of, pause and ponder and contemplate and see it from different facets, that we're actually able to cover only 4 to 5 shlokas, which is fair enough as long as we can do justice to what we are studying, if we can understand what we are studying, and most importantly for all of us, if on a daily basis we can make alive whatever we are studying, then we've done our job, and we are trying to become good disciples and good devotees. So let's proceed with shloka number 31. Swadharmamapi chavekshya na vikampitumharhasi dharmayadhi yudha shreyo anyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. अपने स्वधर्म की दृष्टि से भी तुझे भीतर से डगमगाना नहीं चाहिए। एक क्षत्रिय के लिए धर्म युद्ध से बढ़कर दूसरा कोई शुभ कर्तव्य नहीं है। Even from the point of view of thine own dharma, that is one's rightful duty, thou shouldst not inwardly oscillate. There is nothing more propitious for a Kshatriya than a righteous battle. So important for us here is to realize what is this classification into the 4 castes, and who is really a Kshatriya. So the first important thing is to understand that the system of caste division is not based on birth or on families. It is based on an individual characteristics. If you look around you will find that there are different types of people. There are certain people who are completely body bound and who are only driven by pleasure and pain. Meaning, if you say, I'm going to punish you if you don't do this work, they will do the work. Or else if you say, I will give you some sense pleasure, if you do this work, they will do the work. So body-bound individuals who have all this, who are deep down into the pleasure-pain instinct, is the class of people we call Shudras. It has nothing to do with birth or the type of work they are doing right now. It's just the attitude towards life. It's their, orientation in life. But as this same soul develops, so all of us have been through these different stages. And in fact, even now in our life, we have aspects of each stage within us. So as this soul now develops, it starts to understand that life is not simply about pleasure and pain. He's now more enthusiastic and creative of maybe making more money or having, more ideas about life, to experiment with life, to have certain engagement in life. And this is the stage where the Shudra state starts to shift into the Vaishya state. And here also, this is a transactional reality for the soul, which says, okay, I will do this work, or I will give you this in return if you give me something else. So this is like a business transactional state. So from being body bound, now the soul is starting to use its mental capacities and starts to do business and starts to do exchange. And also here creativity starts to come in. So herein comes the Vaishya state. Even after having living many lifetimes in this state, the soul wonders, and of course the soul is perfect. So when I say the soul, I'm meaning the body identified soul or ego. So the soul starts to wonder that is there more happiness than this? And it starts to realize that when it is working only for itself, its happiness is limited. But when this soul does charity or works for others, or is ready to lay his life for others and go towards nobler, aspirations, then you get more happiness. And this is when the soul reaches the Kshatriya state. And in the Kshatriya state, is not only willing to fight battles to maintain peace in his territory, he is willing to lay his life for others, but he is also willing to fight the inner battle that is happening. And once that happens, then eventually, after having done this, the soul now asks this question, that what is there beyond pleasure, beyond engagement, and beyond adding meaning to life? Is there anything, is there some greater bliss than this? Is there a higher evolutionary path? And then he or she starts to look for the final freedom in spirit, starts to look for moksha. And then it starts to, dive deeper into the scripture, to understand it, to imbibe it, and to live it. And here, as the soul starts to gain its soul nature, it remembers that it is the soul and the spirit. Here it starts to become the Brahmin. And a true Brahmin is he who knows about Brahman, or who knows about truth, that is a self-realized soul. So this is the overall evolution. So here Krishna is reminding Arjuna that he is in the Kshatriya zone. So means he is in the state of existence where it is his noble duty to fight the war, so that he can maintain peace in his territory, so that he can protect people who are vulnerable or who cannot defend themselves. So it is his righteous duty. Therefore, he cannot not fight. So this is what is being said here. And so here, if we take that battle within us, then what is happening? We said that Krishna is our own inner voice of intuition. So, and Arjuna is the devotee who is seeking to find freedom. So what is happening? Guruji explains. He says, Krishna, the soul, says to the devotee, O Arjuna, you are in the warrior state of spirituality. So he's saying to us, we are fighting the inner battle. We are fighting hatred. We are fighting jealousy. We are fighting anger. We are fighting all the Kauravas that are within us. So we are in that state of, spirituality where we are warriors. Your duty lies in fighting the momentarily pleasurable sense attachments of body consciousness. Do not waver. Awake. Rouse the soldiers of discrimination and meditative calmness. Assemble them on the battlefield of introspection. Rout the invading forces of sense attachment. So clearly telling us, so we are not on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, means in the physical way. But what Master said is the Kurukshetra, Dharma Kshetra lies within us. It's in our own astral spine. All the vrittis that are deposited inside the chakras, all those sense attachments which we are, on a daily basis fighting, that is the Kurukshetra. And we need to fight that battle. And why we need to fight that battle? Because unless we win over our sense attachments, unless we find freedom in our own soul, we can never be truly and completely happy. And that's the battle we need to fight. And he also says, just don't this consider this just as the inner battle for the Kshatriya, because there are actually physically people on the battleground. There are people who are at the border, who are defending their country. So what is the attitude for them? Guruji says, the same spiritual instruction can be applied to everyday life. In a righteous material battle, one should fight nobly and fearlessly to defend his homeland from evil invading forces, safeguarding the well-being and interests of his countrymen and upholding the ideals of virtuous human existence. So he's telling us that if it is our duty, if we are in the situation where we are, defending our country, then we must defend it. Now here, a couple of attitudes are important. Now, the one who is defending the country, the soldier at the border, also has to kill sometimes. And a robber or a dacoit also kills sometimes. So what is the difference? Can we compare these two situations? Do they have the same karma? So we have to think about this. What is the intention behind the action? Even at the human level, when the dacoit or a murderer kills a person for selfish gain, what does he get in return? He gets prison in return. On the other hand, the soldier who kills on the battlefield is also killing another human being. But what does he get in return? He gets honor, he gets a medal. So even at the human level, there is this difference, because it is clearly understood that the intention of these two people was completely different. Therefore, karma is not only keeping in account what exactly you are doing at the superficial level, but what is your bhav behind it? What is your thought process behind it? What is your intention behind it? So therefore, this is very important for us every day. For how does it apply to us on a daily basis? Whatever work we are doing, whether in a bank or in a school or in a clinic or any type of work we may be, even online, how are we treating our work? What is the bhav behind our work? Are we taking anybody's credit? Are we killing somebody's enthusiasm? What is it that we are really doing? So we must be very careful, because it's the easiest way is to remember, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. So therefore, when you are saying or doing things that involve others, then be very careful of what you are giving to them. If you were in their situation, would you want the same behavior or not? So therefore, important to pause before you actually speak something or do certain actions. The other thing I said is important is that when the soldier on the battlefield is killing the enemy, what is his bhav, in the sense, is he wanting to harm the other person? Or is he just wanting to fulfill his duty? Because that will determine, again, his karma and the follow-up, the fruits that will happen. So always check with your inner intention and inner bhav. This brings us to the next shloka, which is shloka number 32. Yadrichaya chopapannam svargdvaram pavritam sukhina kshatriya partha labhante yuddhamidrisham. हे पार्थ अर्जुन, क्षत्रिय भाग्यवान है जब इस प्रकार का धर्म युद्ध स्वयं ही उनके भाग्य में प्राप्त हो गया हो। इसमें उन्हें स्वर्ग का खुला द्वार प्राप्त होता है। O son of Pritha Arjun, fortunate are the Kshatriyas when such a righteous battle has unprovoked fallen to their lot. They find therein an open door to heaven. This is a beautiful verse, and let us understand what is being said here. And today I'll be reading a lot from Master's commentary, because his words are unsurpassable, and the clarity and depth that they bring, I don't think we can even try to replace them. So Master is saying that a noble warrior should seize the opportunity of fighting for a noble cause. Those who respond to the call of a righteous battle find a door to heavenly happiness through that duty. Okay. More detail on this. According to the law of karma, a man who dies courageously on the battlefield with a clear conscience attains a blissful state after death and is reborn on earth with a valiant mind in a noble family. A soldier in a righteous war, confronted with the grim specter of death, has to keep the reality foremost in his mind. There is no death, only a return of the soul wave into the sea. The soul wave merges back into the sea of spirit. So two important things are being said here, that if the Kshatriya is fighting, says yes to fight a righteous battle, and then in fighting that battle, he dies, only the body dies. So he is remembering that his soul will never die, he will merge with the spirit. Secondly, again, even if he thinks that he is going to die, then he is going to go into the astral heavens where he is going to enjoy. And when he is born again on earth, he is going to be born into a noble family and with a valiant mind. So all the attitudes that he had before he left his body, he had courage, he had confidence, he had the willingness to serve others and to die for a cause. So all of those attitudes that he had before he left the body are going to be with him as he's born into a new family. And of course, he's going to get a new family because he died for a noble cause. Okay. Applying these principles to the spiritual warrior. So all of us are spiritual warriors. How does this relate to us? When he finds himself in a scene of inner psychological war in which peace and spiritual victory are threatened by sense temptations, he should not waver, but should see in his inner battle an opportunity to conquer the enemy habits and further to establish within himself the heaven of permanent happiness. So, what Master is saying can be possible only if we are alert all the time. If I am trying to fight anger, for instance, and I'm meditating and I'm doing all the right things, so what I do as a spiritual warrior is, as soon as anger arises in my mind, I nip it in the bud. I watch it that it is arising. In that moment of anger, I say to myself, I can see that anger is arising, but I will not give in to the temptation of reacting. But I will try to maintain my calmness in this situation. Anger can be conquered not by anger, but by peace and calmness. So in this moment, I will remain calm and centered in myself and will allow this temptation to be angry to pass along. So here, what is the warrior, the spiritual warrior doing? He is holding his calmness. We know calmness represents Yudhishthira. So Yudhishthira comes into play and says, okay, calmly I will watch this. And then, of course, you can also use the Bhima or the power of prana control. Take a deep breath. As you watch that anger is arising, take few deep breaths. Pause for a while. So you see, all the 5 Pandava warriors will come into play. Nakula will come and say, I do not want to indulge into anger. Sahadev will come and say, I will take this energy of anger towards a positive outlook in trying to be calm. Arjuna at the Manipur chakra will say, I will practice self-control. Bhima at the heart chakra will say, let me do a few, breathing techniques, a few pranayams, so that, I will become centered. And of course, Yudhishthira, the eldest of them, will stay calm and not allow anger to overpower him. So this is how the spiritual warrior will gain victory. But this is possible only when the leader is Drishtadumna, means the one who is watching that actually my enemy is anger and anger is arising, and I will rally all my forces against this, and I will not allow this anger to overpower me. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is so relevant for us on a daily basis, that if we truly understand its meaning, then you are going to be a victor. You're going to be victorious. If you have, thought that I will not give in to these temptations, I am willing to fight this battle. And if you take the help of Krishna, then he will guide you at every step as to what you have to do to be victorious in this battle. Okay. This brings us to shloka number 33. अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं संगग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्ति च हित्वा पापं वाप्स्यसि। परंतु यदि तुम इस धर्म युद्ध को लड़ने से इनकार करोगे, तब तुम अपने स्वधर्म और कीर्ति को त्यागने के कारण पाप करोगे। But if thou declinest to undertake this righteous combat, then having relinquished thine own dharma and glory, thou will reap sin. So what is being said here? In Master's words, if you refuse the opportunity to fight and conquer the enemies that are threatening your welfare and inner kingdom of true happiness, you will have shirked your righteous duty and sullied the honor of your true self, which is a sin against the divine image of which you are made. So Guruji is saying, you are the perfect soul. And if you are not willing to fight at the mental and the psychological and the pranic level, this battle against all these vices, then you are not doing your duty, you are shirking your duty. And why is this a sin? Because if you don't fight this battle, then you will never be able to get back your true soul nature of peace. And therefore, you will never be happy. You will continue to stay in sorrow, and staying against your own true nature of the soul is a sin. Therefore, you must fight this battle. And we have a little more explanation here as well. Master is saying he is a deserter who does not want to battle the wicked cravings of the conscious or subconscious mind. He loses honor and virtue and the joy of self-control. So now, for example, if there is a thief and he understands that stealing is not a good thing, but then suddenly one day he's been avoiding the temptation, but suddenly he finds that a large amount of money or jewelry is kept unguarded, and it's his bright opportunity to steal that. Now what does he do? So he's been trying to be good, but this temptation is right in front of him. Now if he and then his inner soul voice is also with him. So let's remember that the inner voice of conscience will always tell him to do the right thing. But suppose if he ignores the voice of Krishna or this voice of intuition and inner voice, and he does go and steal those things, then what will happen? Then he will be a deserter, and to a deserter, his own mental citizens will rally against him, and the guilt and shame. So after having done the act, he will have to suffer from guilt and shame in his own mind, because on the one hand he was trying to do good, but on the other hand he fell for the temptation. So here this is a warning that we ourselves will not feel good if we do not fight the battle when it is necessary to fight the battle. Then we ourselves will not feel happy and satisfied and fulfilled. Therefore it is best that when the opportunity comes, you must fight your own inner cravings, you must fight your own inner vices and come to the side of virtue. Because when you practice self-control, you get a joy within yourself, you feel powerful within yourself, and you will completely miss out on this joy and power if you give in to temptations when they assail you. Okay. The mental and moral strength of man becomes successfully successfully stronger by valiantly battling every trial and temptation. So every time you are able to overcome a temptation, your power is going to increase. You are going to move towards your soul nature. The law of life offers man the power of resistance in his God-given will and immortal soul qualities. It is his duty to bring out this hidden strength, this divine heritage, and prove himself a worthy son of God. And it is a sin against soul progress for a man to lay down his arms of will and self-control and acknowledge defeat when challenged by any kind of trial. So it is both our right and our duty to fight the battle. Why right? Because it is our right to be eternally happy. Why duty? Because unless we fight the battle, we are not going to be able to claim our right. So in either case, we must fight the battle. The unspiritual man living in the sin of ignorance experiences a living death. He is denied of the life breath of truth realization. He is a dream puppet dancing on strings of illusion. Okay, so very important statement. So people who are not seeking the truth, people who are not alert about this inner battle that is going on, and he is ignoring all the sacred teachings from the scriptures, not bothered if there is any karma and karma phal, or if there's a higher teaching. So such a person is denied of truth realization. Now, being denied of truth realization means being denied of a fulfilling life. And he is therefore going to be, down in the trench. He is never going to be fully happy. But on the other hand, a spiritual man who has been fighting a battle, now the battle is again not an overnight battle. You fight with one vice, you fight with another. It's like a marathon thing. So as he is fighting and being able to conquer one enemy after the other, starts to gain satisfaction and fulfillment in his own soul. And therefore, the spiritual man, over a period of time, as he combats various trials and temptations, as he gains more energy and confidence, also becomes happier and more peaceful. And if you look around yourself, you will find that all those people who do practice self-control in their life, all those people who have some integrity, some morality, some ethics to follow by, who have higher beliefs, you will find them to be more peaceful than those who are just indulging in the senses and do not care for any morality or ethics. It's a simple observation you can make around you. Okay. Now we come to shloka number 34. Akirti chapi bhutani kathayishyanti te avyayam sambhavitasya cha kirti amarnadati richyate. मनुष्य सदा ही तुम्हारी अपकीर्ति करेंगे। प्रतिष्ठित पुरुष के लिए अपकीर्ति यथार्थ में मृत्यु से भी बुरी है। Men will ever speak of thine ignominy. To the man of repute, dishonor is veritably worse than death. Master starts the explanation with a warning. He says, beware. Beware that the valiant spiritual hero, who is a valiant spiritual hero? All of us who are trying to fight this inner battle so that we attain our victory of soul peace. Who, if you are betrothed to virtue, means if you are married to virtue, if you are trying to live a virtuous life, do not be disloyal to virtue. Do not be disloyal to dharma. That means in whatever you do, you should be on the side of righteousness. Every time you shift over to unrighteousness, that will bring pain to you. He who falls into disrepute in the eyes of the honorable virtue suffers pangs in life worse than physical death. So what he is saying is, again, what we discussed earlier, is that if you are a virtuous person, but if you refuse to fight another righteous battle, and then you are filled and you are pulled by a sense temptation or any kind of mental temptation, then the shame and the guilt and the sadness that you have in yourself is worse than death. So just like they say that in Hindi, I will say first, then we'll translate in English, कि जो चिता है वो तो मृत व्यक्ति को जलाती है, लेकिन जो चिंता है वो जीवित व्यक्ति को जलाती है. So that means, the fire will light up the body of only the dead. But anxiety, guilt, shame, this will light up the body of a living person. So if we do not do what is right, then we ourselves will suffer from all these negative virtues, and that is going to be worse than death. A life stripped of honor is a living death. Living death, yes. He also is a coward. Now, all of this is coming for us. Let's listen to it very carefully and see where it applies directly to us. He also is a coward who permits sense temptations to devastate his bodily kingdom. It requires definite mental resistance and willpower to fight the battalions of strong sensual craving. A moral deserter finds himself constantly criticized by his own conscience, not to mention the hordes of holier-than-thou worldly people. He who dishonorably relinquishes the fight against temptations experiences a living death. So long as life lasts, the moral hero must never submit to defeat, nor fly away from a difficult battle with temptation. No matter how many times he is dislodged from the divine state, the devotee should make renewed efforts at concentration to counteract the adverse sense victories. So two important things. Firstly, Master acknowledges that the battle against the sense temptations is a tough one. If the battle was easy, why would God create a strong sense temptations if it was to be, easily conquered, and again everyone was to go back into spirit? If this play has to go on and then Maya has created these temptations, then there might as well be strong obstacles or challenges for the soul to go back into spirit. So it's a strong battle. You may try little, sometimes more, sometimes you may feel victorious, but then it may come again. So if we think of the Ramayana, why does Ravana have 10 heads? Ravana, we know, represents both ahamkara and kama, means both ego and lust. And these are things that will keep coming again and again and again. So one day you have fought a battle against lust, but the next day it will come again. The next day it will come again, and the next day it will come again. It has its own power. Do not underestimate the strength of the evil temptations, but also remember that your soul, which is Rama, is stronger, more powerful than any temptation that is possible. But remember that even Rama had to rally all his soldiers, and it took few days to kill Ravana. So this battle is going to last for a while. And also remember that when we talk of lust, we are not only talking of sexual lust. Lust means any strong craving or desire to have anything from this world. So this is a very powerful force, but you can win against it. Why? Because you have the Pandava warriors within yourself, and you have the aid of Krishna, who is going to guide you. And of course, you are the soul itself, which is of greatest power. So even though the battle may be difficult, but your power is greater, and you should know that your happiness and peace will lie only after you are victorious in this battle. And this has to be fought by every soul. Every soul has to fight against the temptations of the body and temptations of the mind, and it has to stay centered in being its own true self. So why procrastinate this battle? We have to fight it. It's worth fighting now, and it's worth fighting well. So call upon Krishna and remember that the battle will happen every day. That's what when Master started his commentary, he said this is a battle that has to be fought every day. So today's battles may be different from tomorrow's battle, but every morning when you get up, you have to fight certain battles at the physical level, at the mental level, and to be united with your soul consciousness. The very battle to tell yourself that I am not this body and not this mind, that itself is a huge battle in itself. So how do we fight this battle? By meditating every day. Now, the rest of the battle becomes easier if we are centered in the soul. That means if by daily meditation, we can acknowledge and perceive our soul self, that we are beyond this body and mind, then that battle, of course, is easily won. But all the other battles at the pranic level, at the mental level, at the physical battle become easier. So instead of starting your battles from outside in, start your battles from inside out. Means first, if you are able to fight the spiritual battle, then all the other battles will become easier. This brings us to shloka number 35. Bhayadranaduparatam mansyante tvam maharatha yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. महारथी योद्धा मानेंगे कि तुमने भय के कारण युद्ध का त्याग किया है। इस प्रकार जो लोग तुम्हें अत्यधिक सम्मान की दृष्टि से देखते थे, उनके लिए अब तुम उतने सम्मान के पात्र नहीं रहोगे. The mighty chariot warriors will assume that thou hast shunned this war through fear. Thus wilt thou be lightly regarded by those who had thought highly of thee. When a mighty devotee falls from a victorious psychological warrior state, he is considered by his inner forces of wisdom as one who shirks and shrinks from battle. His faculties of self-control and willpower revile him as a psychological coward, a spiritual deserter. In the light of introspection, the oscillating devotee beholds himself as an object of pity. Now, a very important thing is being mentioned, with which we started actually the study of the Bhagavad Gita, is the importance of introspection. Each night, we should introspect into what kind of life have we lived that day. Have our virtues won? Have our vices won? Which side is stronger? Are we more centered and calm than we were earlier? Or did we give in to sense temptations and restlessness? And only then will we know what are the mental citizens inside us saying. And if we lose battles over and over again, means if on a daily basis we find that the vices are winning over the virtues. Why are they winning over the virtues? Because the virtues are saying, I'm not willing to fight. I don't want to fight this battle. I'm okay with the sense temptation, just as Arjuna is saying. If that keeps happening over and over again, eventually your own psychological setup will say, though, I can't do this. I don't think I have the capacity. Now look around you and see how many people around you have inferiority complexes. Where do they come from? The inferiority complex is a state where a person thinks he's not capable of doing certain things. Why has that happened? Because repeatedly you have shirked the battle. There is this temptation in front of you, even the temptation to become anxious, the temptation to be fearful, the temptation to be worried, and you are not fighting against it. You are just allowing the vices to take over your territory of peace. So therefore, the battle will have to be fought. neither inferiority complex nor superiority complex is good. Be natural, be being human itself, just a normal, balanced personality is a big thing. Because unless you see the world in neutrality, neither superior nor inferior, once you see the oneness of it, from there you can understand that all of this is one, all of this is that truth, and from there you can go to higher levels. But the point here I'm trying to say is that your own mental citizens will get convinced that you are no good, which is a falsity. So don't allow yourself to go into that state. Rather, as soon as you find the opportunity find that a vice is coming inside you and this negative thing is arising, immediately fight that battle here and now. Do not procrastinate. If you don't fight against the anger within you, so again, fighting against anger does not mean taking out more weapons and becoming more angry. It means bringing in peace and calmness. If you don't fight the irritation inside you, if you don't fight the frustration, the disgust, the anxiety, the fear, the worry, the lack of confidence, all the list of complexes that are there, then where are you going? Eventually, who will fight these battles? Eventually, who is going to free you? Nobody else will free you but yourself. You yourself have to fight these battles, and why not now? And Krishna is only waiting. He is ever present, all points in time, all points in space. Krishna is present. He is only waiting and saying, oh, when will this devotee turn towards me and ask my help? I am here to help. But this devotee is so busy with his sense temptations, with this world, and he is so used to these miseries, he doesn't even think he is miserable. That's our state, actually. So the ever-present Krishna consciousness awaits us. Let us know and understand that this battle is imperative, that we all have to fight it. All we need to do is rally. Of course, we have to prepare ourselves. We have to train our soldiers, and we have to call upon Krishna. And the Guru has come for our help. He is showing us the way. If we follow the footsteps of the master, then self-realization is guaranteed. That's what Paramahansa Yogananda said. He said, if you were to follow 100th of what I am teaching, you will find God in this lifetime. Now, if that is the case, can't we put out that 100th of the effort? When he was writing the Gita, when the Gita got finished, his version, he said, millions will find God through this book. Can't we be one of those millions? We have to be, we must be. Why not? Why not us? So therefore, fight the battle. Fight the battle. Also, fighting the battle does not mean staying that angry and, high willpower state. Means also loving and surrendering, means being kind, being compassionate. So all the positive things come along with both the head and the heart have to work together. It's not just a head thing. It's not just an intellectual thing. Your power of feeling, your power of intuition, all the capacities and abilities and talents that you have, all have to come in together. Okay. Every devotee who at will can command his attention to retire from the territory of the senses and enthrone itself within and is an object of admiration in the eyes of his own thoughts. So, what is Master saying? He's saying, every time you are able to, in meditation, you are able to withdraw your attachment or the current going into the senses back to your center, and you are able to stabilize yourself at the peace, in the peace of the spiritual eye. Your own mental citizens will applaud you. You will feel happy. Is it not? When you have a good meditation, after you get up from the good meditation, don't you say, I had a good meditation today. I am happy today. Your own mental citizens are encouraging you, are applauding you. And if you're not able to do meditation in a good way, or in fact, for a few days you miss your meditation, it's your own mental citizens saying, why are you not meditating? I'm feeling so bad. My restlessness is increasing. So it's your own mind. So elevate yourself in your own mind. You are the only one. So this shloka will come later. Your mind is your own best friend and your mind is your own worst enemy. So which side are you on? So first, we have to be on the side of the virtues. We have to be on the side of the right. We have to be in the side of dharma. And eventually, of course, once we are established in dharma, we know that the doer of all actions is God. It's only from that platform that we can discard both good and bad actions and go beyond. But first, every day of our life, we have to choose the good over the bad, the light over the darkness. Okay. This brings us to shloka number 36. Avachya vadanshcha bahun vidyashanti tavahita nindantasvar samarthya tato dukhtaram nukim. तुम्हारे शत्रु तुम्हारी शक्तियों की तिरस्कारपूर्ण निंदा करेंगे, इससे अधिक कष्टदायक और क्या हो सकता है? Thy foes will speak contemptuously, maligning thy powers. What could be more painful than this? So we're still continuing in the same breath, and Krishna is trying to convince Arjuna, he's trying to convince us that, if you don't do these things, you are the one who's going to feel bad. Why do you want to do that? Might as well feel good. Do the right thing and feel good about it. And then rise further and further and further. In very simple words, this is what is being said here. Okay. Guruji says, when a man is afraid to fight the inner battle, his evil tendencies appear as though in the shape of distinct mental personalities to taunt him from all sides. Their mockery riddles the fallen devotee with a gnawing remorse. Even the good tendencies, finding themselves deserted by their Kshatriya warrior leader, silently rebuke him. Physical pain invades only the body, but uncontrollable moods and lack of spiritual government produces disorganization within the entire being. The devotee of self-respect does not tolerate an audacious invasion by the evil tendencies of his own past and present. So we have just, and I think no further explanation is required. We've already discussed how our own mental citizens are going to applaud us, or they are going to complain and take us into the side of remorse. Okay, let's move on to shloka number 37. Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshyase mahim tasmatu tishtha kaunteya युद्धाय कृत निश्चय. यदि तुम वीर गति प्राप्त करते हो तो तुम स्वर्ग को प्राप्त करोगे. यदि विजय प्राप्त करोगे तो पृथ्वी के राज्य का आनंद उठाओगे. इसलिए हे कौन्तेय अर्जुन, उठो, युद्ध के लिए कृत संकल्प हो जाओ. If thou shouldst die battling thine enemies, thou wilt gain heaven. If thou conquerest, thou wilt enjoy the earth. Therefore, O son of Kunti, Arjuna, lift thyself up, be determined to fight. Master is telling us, Krishna is telling us, be determined to fight. Know that the fact that we are all on this earth in human bodies means a lot of work needs to go in our improvement. The divine sculptor has to sculpt our bodies and minds and create beautiful souls. So we need to do a lot of work. So get up and fight. That's what Krishna is saying here. Guruji gives three interpretations of this battle. Interpretation number one, life is a battle. Each man has to struggle for his physical existence and is subject to his or her own peculiar set of difficulties. Everyone who conscientiously fights will either be victorious in solving the problems or fail in the attempt. The Gita points out, however, that a man who puts up a great fight against a particular problem, and even if he fails to solve it, he has gained rather than lost, for he has acquired strength in the struggle. Those who resist failure to the end are reborn in the next life as individuals ready for success. Now, if you have ever wondered why someone so young can be immediately successful as soon as he launches his career, know that in previous lifetimes, he has worked up his success tendencies, and therefore this person is successful in this life. Nothing is free on earth. You have to gain, you have to earn, you have to put in self-effort. So whoever has whatever good qualities, talents, or financial greatness, or whatever, creative ability, that soul has built it over many lifetimes. Anyone who dies with the thought of having been completely vanquished will be reborn with a tendency toward failure. So even when we are fighting a battle in our daily life, we should never say, I am not good enough or I have failed. Because if we die with this thought in our mind, then this failure consciousness will go along with us into our next life. Therefore, that's why, Swami would say, I am not won yet, I'm not successful yet, but I have not failed. Never tell yourself that you have failed. Never tell yourself that you are weak, because you as the soul are all powerful. All the thoughts that you think in those final moments when your body is going to leave you, those thoughts are going to eventually take you to the next birth. And those are the attitudes that you're going to manifest in the next life. So all the time, therefore, the use of positive thinking, therefore, the use of affirmations, therefore, daily meditation, so that by daily meditation, you know that you are the soul. Only then, once you meditate and have first-hand experience of your soul existence, only then with confidence and conviction, your thoughts will follow that perception. And you will be able to say, I am ever free. I am ever perfect in God. I am a child of infinity and eternity. If you are not meditating and if you are not able to perceive your infinite nature now while you are living, then of course, what kind of thoughts will you have? Oh, I am this limited person. I have all these difficulties in my life. I am such a poor fellow. My body is so sick. I am mentally so, confused and worried. So this is what is going to happen in your next life again. So therefore, meditate, meditate, meditate. Gain first-hand experience of your soul nature. Be confident in your thoughts and say, I am the perfect soul. I am a child of God right now, right here. And nobody in the universe can change this status of mine. I am ever free. I am becoming better day by day. I am developing all the good qualities which are already present in me. Never given to any negative thought. All of that has satanic power behind it. Just hold on to the Guru, hold on to God, and hold on to have faith in yourself also. Just having faith in God is not going to work, because you cannot say that, okay, Krishna, you fight the battle for me. Krishna will not fight the battle for you. You have to fight your own battle. Therefore, have faith in yourself, have faith in truth, have faith in God, and then with that thought, and keep those positive thoughts of confidence and conviction with you as you are living each day. Even before you sleep every night, have a positive set of affirmations. Because who knows who will get up next morning, who will not. Be a child of God as you sleep every night. In your thought, affirm that. Say joy, 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 joy before you go to sleep. Peace, 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 love, 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 freedom. With those thoughts, go into your sleep. So once you have practiced being in those thoughts, you have practiced living those thoughts, then when your final exam comes, means when it is time for us to leave our physical bodies, our minds will helplessly repeat joy, 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 love, 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 infinity, eternity, soul power, peace, oneness. With this thought, dear friends, we will end today's class and we will share the power and blessings that we have received through these teachings with souls everywhere. Let us pray together. Divine Mother, beloved Lord Krishna, thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Om. 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 Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all true hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.